There she is.
There she is. What's up there, big boy? How's
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah, what is the dream?
I,
What
I
is
don't know what it is.
Oh,
I honestly don't even know. I don't know what it
I
is.
was I was hoping to hear what it was so I could either be
Big
jealous.
international TikTok
Oh
celebrity,
Lord, here we go.
uh,
I did see
you know,
you were there talking to your fans for an hour.
food blogger. What else
You're
do I
not
add to my resume?
a food blogger. How are you a food blogger?
Vlogger, food vlogger.
You're not a
I'm a
vlogger.
vlogger.
You're a TikTok
A
guy.
vlogger.
You don't
That's a
make
vlog.
No, that's not. A vlog is like it goes up on like YouTube and it's like a video. It's like longer than 60 seconds, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not.
whatever.
Yeah.
Don't stop crushing my dream.
Listen, I didn't know they were so crushable. I didn't know
Very crushable.
I didn't know they were like an empty open can of Coke, you know?
They were. They were.
I look at it cross-eyed and it crumples.
Listen, just go along. Go with the flow.
I'm flowing today. I'm flowing. I got
Yeah, I bet you are. You were on the toilet before.
Oh man, like 3 times today.
That's that free pizza.
That's what?
The free pizza from the Miami Heat.
That's not free. It was half price.
Half price, free, same thing.
No, literally not the same thing. Literally the opposite of the same thing.
Not even close.
Not even close. Oh shit, man. Yeah, you've got this warped perspective of reality. What dreams are? What qualifies as a dream? What qualifies as free and half price? And you're nuts. Yeah. So yeah. Yesterday, I've been having a little bit of a blowout here. I've been getting way too much food lately.
You've just come to that realization today?
Well, no. The last couple of days have been really bad. Hold on, what do you got in front of you today? I got two shots of Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve, what is that?
It's a bourbon, a bourbon, and then I have a big old glass of vodka and Diet Dr Pepper.
Well, I'm gonna finish off my Bacardi Black. Which, by the way, you had asked me a couple of what is black rum? It's from Santiago, Cuba. It's Cuban rum.
Mm.
Cuban rum.
I used to get flown. My passport has like 8 stamps in it to go to Guyana in South America, it borders Brazil and yada yada.
Right.
It's an English speaking country. That is like a third Native Indians, a third freed black slaves, and a third Indians.
Okay.
Like, I guess when the British started colonizing all over the place, since they colonized India for like over 100 years, this was a place where Indians came to. I don't know why. So, like, you drive around Guyana, South America, and there's lots of Indian architecture. And the cows walk around in the streets. Nobody fucks with them. Nobody very few people serve beef. Good luck with that unless you're at the nice 5-star hotel. Well,
it's because they're like one with the cows.
Yeah, they're a sacred animal. And and it's best known for Jonestown, which was Jim Jones' cult in the 70s, where the phrase "don't drink the Kool-Aid" comes from, where he had all of his members of his cult drink the poisoned Kool-Aid and they all died. So, that's what the place is like. I mean, most known for is Jonestown. White people come in and fuck up everything. So, yeah. So anyway, my point is, there was a very wealthy guy that we used to sell home theater stuff to. He would fly us in to install it. We'd be there for days and days and days. And everything was taken care of. And when we left, instead of tipping us cash or, anything like that, he would give us a bottle of rum. And it was from the distillery that was down there that we would drive past every day on the way to the job. And, like, let me tell you, if you've never driven past a distillery, holy shit does it stink. But,
really?
This rum, he would buy us bottles, and they weren't just the rum. It was their high end one, and he would either give us the 15-year aged rum, or the 20-year aged rum. It was just arbitrary,
Right.
So I used to always get this rum. I forget. I'm gonna have to remember what it was called because I can't remember the distillery now. The bottling.
But he would tip you that.
That was our tip.
That's actually not a bad tip.
It's not a bad tip, except it ain't cash. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're talking this guy was a millionaire. Like, we're talking that everything this guy owned, like Hummers and fucking we sold him more than $1 million worth of home theater and house
right.
Audio and whatever home automation equipment over the course of whatever. The tax that you would have to pay to import goods from another country, I think it was 100%. So not only did he spend $1 million with us, but it cost him another $1 million with the government.
Wow!
To bring that stuff in.
What the hell did this guy do? I'm taking my drink here.
Yeah. Let's do one shot. It was just reminding me of that, the rum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Whew.
So, he had a paint company.
Okay.
And he manufactured I don't know, it wasn't even like a paint brand I'd ever heard of. It may have just only sold to within the borders of his country, but he must have sold every fucking drop of paint.
Everybody bought that paint.
The country used, because the guy was loaded. He was the kind of guy that had the kind of money where when he wanted to get security for his family, he bought the security company. So then he had armed people at his house.
I'm questioning if this guy actually sold paint.
When he wanted armed, when he wanted a couple of guard dogs, he got them from Yugoslavia, and they only responded to fucking commands. You had to learn Yugoslavian words for stop and attack and whatever. He was not happy with his internet service, so he bought the provider. He bought the company that provided for all of Georgetown.
This guy was not selling fucking paint. Get out of here.
And he would literally brown out neighborhoods so he could get better bandwidth.
This guy was not buying. He was selling something else, not paint.
I mean, I don't know. Sure. I can't tell you. I don't know. Maybe those paint cans did have something else in them, but I couldn't tell you.
He wasn't selling.
I couldn't tell you. I am smart enough to not say his name on the air just in case.
Right.
He had some extracurricular hobbies that were making him money. Yeah. So you ready for the second one?
Smart move.
You ready for the second one?
Oh, I was waiting for you.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Your paint drying story.
Yeah. Fuck you. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, the second one was rough.
Ooh.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah. So, I don't know how I got the Guyana. Oh, the rum. Yeah.
No idea.
I mean, my point is the guy was a millionaire.
Right.
And yet, he didn't send us back with big tips. It was just a bottle of rum. Now, in fairness, we did stay at the best hotel in the country. And, we just signed off on everything, so every meal, everything he got us. So, there was that.
Oh, so it was that's not bad. Not a bad gig.
Yeah, and he paid to fly us in, and, all of that. So, yeah, it was a working vacation.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig. Yeah. So I was on my TikTok live, and everybody was talking about wrestling. Like wrestling.
Are we becoming a wrestling podcast? Is that
hold on. I got this. No, this is I'm going to kind of say something with this. I post 900 videos dancing like a fucking fool in my bathroom. 900 videos trying food from fucking Europe, the UK, and all these other countries. I post 2 wrestling videos, and it's now taking over the entire questioning.
I have a theory for that. Would you like to hear the theory?
What's that?
The theory is that they knew you were into this other stuff because you did it. So they're like, anyone that's into wrestling that now realizes, oh my God, he was a wrestler.
Right.
They're excited because this is a part of you they don't know, and they have access to you through this TikTok live that they're going to start hammering you with questions. So you sprung something on them, and it's something that they're excited to learn more about. They know you've tried and they know you've tried like this candy or that candy or whatever. But they don't know who you've wrestled with or who you've met. Or, what your favorite fucking move is and your favorite match and your this and your that.
Right.
And, blah,
and that's
blah,
what they're asking. Right. Yeah. And it's funny, though, because even like, I was telling you before we went on the podcast, people ask, like, what's your favorite move? And, like, asking really good questions, though, like, your favorite match or like what version of Sting is your favorite? Like, and then they're answering back with their answer. What do you think the best match you've ever seen is? Like, to me, I could talk about that all day. Like, it's cool shit to me. Like, that's super cool shit. But then I started thinking, like, man, I should be posting more wrestling videos. The problem is, I don't have any. Like, I don't have anything. I don't have anything from my early career because God knows what Bobby Rogers did with the FOW stuff. I could probably pull some IPW stuff up.
No, but it's not God knows. You could pick up the phone and call him and ask him. He'd be happy to talk to you.
The problem is he doesn't have it. He doesn't know where it is.
Oh.
Yeah. So
do you remember
that's the issue.
Do you remember who filmed it back in the day?
Man, Israel maybe or something. I don't even know. You think
so?
I don't know. He was part of all that. I have no idea.
Could ask. You could also ask Israel. He's around. He's happy to answer. Yeah. He's happy to hear from you. So, Ron Nimi, if you wanted some old stuff, he's around.
So I was gonna say I can pull I know there's some stuff like with Roderick Strong. I'm pretty sure my Roderick Strong match is on YouTube. Like I can pull it up. Like that stuff I can get. That's no problem. But the FOW stuff, no idea where any of that is. I'll ask Bobby today. But then I started thinking about, like I can get stuff from recently, like the Breakfast Club shit. Like I can get all that. I can get stuff from Carino's, which I do want to put up my match with Yuta because he's on fucking national television getting slapped with Regal now. Like that match should be up there. My match with John Skyler, he's on Impact every week. That should be up there. Like people should see that. But that's what I'm thinking about Supercon stuff. That would be the coolest shit. But no, we can't have that. We can't have the Supercon stuff because where the fuck is it? It all got deleted.
Well, I think Mike Broder, who owns Supercon now, owns GalaxyCon. He did a spite move back in the day and deleted all that.
Right.
When he fired me and Marco and stopped having wrestling on his shows for like 2 or 3 things before he brought it back.
You and fucking Marco ruined it for everyone.
I mean,
like everyone could be watching Mario, doing matches, but no, we don't have that.
Yeah, me and Marco are bad guys. Listen, I think again, if you really want it, there's people to reach out to ask. I mean,
listen, this Speedy, you gotta go with connection. Maybe
Speedy doesn't have the video.
Maybe he has a connection.
Nah, I'd rather talk to. I think Eric might have more of a connection for that. Or I listen. Enough time's gone by where if I sent Mike a professional email,
right?
He might respond to it. I don't really want to talk to the cocksucker, but
Come on, don't call him a cocksucker. We need this video. We need this footage. The world needs to see me as Super Mario wrestling.
I will tell you that
that was some of my best work.
Cocksucker is. Mike would agree with me. Cocksucker, for any people that are fans of the show Deadwood, is a term of endearment. We are both big fans of Deadwood, and we are both big fans of calling people cocksuckers. So he would not be offended by me calling him a cocksucker. He would understand.
I think we need this footage. I think the world needs to see me as Super Mario.
So why don't you email?
You got to admit it was some of my. I don't have a relationship with that guy, but you have to say.
Listen,
that was some of my best work.
You have less of an antagonistic relationship with him than I do. You weren't fired by him. True. You didn't go scorched earth and never talked to. I mean, he's come on. Let's be realistic here. I'm not.
But
I'm not interested in mending the bridges, but I'm sure enough time has passed where if we both chose to, we could have a civil conversation.
We need this footage. The world now. Let's explain.
Need is a really suspect word.
I need it. You don't need it.
My eyebrow went up.
Let's explain.
When you said need.
I know we've talked about this before, but we probably got some new listeners now.
Yeah.
And I'm whoring out the podcast left and right now. I'm making you happy now.
Maybe left. I wouldn't say left and right.
Yeah.
So out of the 3 videos that went up, I think
I can't do every one. Like, come on.
I mean, you can.
Honestly, I forgot.
I'll show you
and then I was like,
I'll show you really successful people that plug it every single time.
I forgot a couple times, and I was like, shit. But then I rememred, and Anyway, So here's the thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
Explain to the people. We got to explain to the people.
The thing. I didn't know we were going to be doing a thing. Okay, go ahead.
We got to explain to the people what we're talking about. So there was a time in this world where
almost a decade ago now.
Right, a long time. Ben, you were partnered with a guy named Mike Berter and Supercon.
Never partnered. I worked for the guy for,
Okay, you worked for him.
Peanuts. Happily worked for Peanuts because I enjoyed what I was doing. Go ahead.
Right. So it was a big comic convention. Is that what you would call it? I'm not into that nerd stuff. Comic convention.
Comic-Con,
right? So at the Comic-Con, they decided to have pro wrestling. But everybody was going to dress as a character.
You want
comic book?
But I'll give you the real.
I'm explaining this really bad. Go ahead. You explain
No, you're doing it fine. Except you're missing the early origin of it. Was that there's this when Mike first was doing the shows, he wanted to have this company come in called Kaiju Big Battle, where they kind of dress up in crazy outfits. And they do crazy wrestling in a ring. They're dressed up like Godzilla, and they're dressed up like the French Toast Man, and all these other things, outlandish costumes, whatever. They were too expensive for him at the time because he built this thing from, $7 in his pocket and a lot of hopes and dreams, and a lot of promise, a lot of that character Wimpy on Popeye. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today kind of deal. So he couldn't afford to have this product come in to perform for him. So he said, well, let me just, get some local guys to do it, some local independent wrestlers to do it. So I think he went to Rusty's school and made some connections, et cetera, and, got a few guys that were. Now, back then, everyone looked at it like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
This sounds ridiculous. So the few people that were game to do it, Marco was one of them, one of the first guys. Him, Adrian, I think Beast came in for the second one, and from then on was a loyal guy. I think Martin Dunn was involved early. I don't know if you know Martin Dunn. But,
yeah.
But Martin Dunn's kind of like to me, a little bit, is kind of like a Seth Gregg. I feel like he kind of is lying all the time, just lying. But I think he's changed since then. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to just randomly throw dirt on someone. But sure. So and this way, it kind of the guys worked for nothing, like basically nothing, if there was pay at all, but they got to have fun. They got to come dress up, and you wrestled as like characters that would appeal to people going to Comic-Con, superheroes and anime characters and video game characters and TV and movie characters. So then a couple of years go by, and the guy that was running it, Benny, who wrestled as Joey Saint, was going to jail. He was going to jail. His and this is all fact, so I'm not talking shit about it. But his family ran those pill mills down here, those pharmacies that were, it was it was a famous thing for a minute down in South Florida where you could write a prescription on a fucking Kleenex with a Crayola marker and go to one of these pill mills and they would probably give you the pills. So I think the family kind of threw him under the bus and he kind of took the heat for his family. I think he just worked for them, and I think his family really kind of fucked him over. But anyway, he was going to jail. He was preparing to go to jail. He had X amount of time before he went to jail, and he was trying to, with Broder, coordinate the handoff of running this wrestling thing. You know, his contacts and the people he was using, et cetera, et cetera. And he handed it off and to you and me. Broder called you in. I think Benny recommended you.
I don't know how it happened.
I'm pretty sure Benny recommended you because I was working for Mike at the time, just helping him with the show. Or maybe I was working for his comic book shop at the time, one or the other. So it had been running a few years, and you and I took it over. We kind of you kind of did more of the personnel stuff that first one where you didn't call the people you didn't want to work with. You brought some other people in, et cetera, et cetera. And that was crazy because that year I was also doing the podcast with Jenny. And we were literally sitting in a room upstairs at the convention for 8 hours. And they would just bring guest after guest in, and we were live streaming a fucking 6 or 8 hour podcast where we were just at.
I remember coming up and stopping by that room, and it was you guys were just pumping it out.
We were just talking to everybody that was that was a guest at the show. I talked to some cool people, some big TV stars and things like that. But then I would have to stop at a certain point and run down and help you. Because we had the wrestling at 6 or 8 o'clock at night, so I was burning candle at both ends. But then we had local guys for the most part. There were every now and then Mike would have a wrestling guest that was a name that would also be game to maybe do something in the ring with us. So and as time went on, we did more of that, but. But so you and I ran that first one. Well, not the first one, but you and I.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I met at that Starbucks on Las Olas Boulevard. You know, that Starbucks that's always, Broder was there with what's his name?
No. Wasn't it the one on the beach?
The beach, yeah.
On A1A. No, it's
A1A.
It's closer to Sunrise than Las Olas, but yeah.
Right, and it was Wingy was there.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I remember meeting you there.
You were there, Wingy and Broder, and we met at that.
Yeah, it was the first time I met you, and we exchanged numbers. And
that was the first time we met.
I think we kind of just went over Benny's list, which was chicken scratch with names and the phone numbers,
Right.
And then I met you again. Right. I think it was at an ale house. Or a place like an ale house?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Up in your...
Maybe it was ale house.
Up in your... I don't think
it was ale house.
I don't know. Was it an ale house?
Or was it Duffy's?
It might have been a Duffy's. It was like a corner building kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he brought Alexa to that one for some reason. And I'm like...
I don't remember.
Who the heck was this chick? But, yeah. Little did we know. And so we ran that one, and then I think afterwards, because you don't give a shit anyways. You'd rather just show up and do stuff.
Right.
After that, I kind of just handled calling people and arranging for show. But at that time, when we took over, they just had people that were random characters. Right. And they just put them together and had random matches. So you would have the Joker versus someone, but it didn't make any sense. And then when I think Marco and I started booking it after that, and we were like, well, why don't we have characters that make sense with each other, and have them fight characters that make sense with each other? And then it became kind of popular after that, and we did storylines that ran over multiple conventions, and and it became a big thing where I think by the end of our run, we were doing a room that had 2,000 seats in it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I don't even know who chose Super Mario for me. Was it you? How did that even come about?
But you did it from day one, didn't you? You never anything else.
But I didn't pick it.
I don't know.
Somebody along the way was like, "You're Super Mario," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, but you and I were running it, so it wasn't and I was deferring to you. I didn't know shit. So
well, I think I want to say maybe Benny before he was like, because I remember him like giving me the overalls, like,
Maybe.
and was like,
Oh, he gave you overalls?
I didn't buy the first. No, I was handed those. Like
That's
somebody
weird.
handed it to me, and they were like, "You're Mario," and I'm like, "I'm Mario," and I was like, "That's the fucking coolest thing ever,"
Yeah.
because I totally own the character. Like I literally transformed into Mario.
Yeah.
Like, because my thought process of the whole thing was, if I'm a character, I'm gonna be that character in the wrestling ring too. I'm gonna do things that the character would do in the video game, but in the wrestling ring.
That was the other thing that eventually made once we took over from Benny, whether it was you and me, and then me and Marco a little later, was that we were like, listen, you're perfect to play this character, but in the ring you have to be that character. Nobody cares that you can do shooting star presses, add super kicks, and whatever else. You do what the character does. And that's what got over. The fans are sitting there. They don't know wrestling. They don't give a shit. But when they see a character do something that, like Mario does in a video game, that's when you get the pop. When you pull out the plunger, or the coins fly out of your hands, or, you know, whatever else, you know.
Right, but I felt like nobody else was doing things like that.
It was a process. It was a process of
at first.
The first,
but then it changed.
The first show or two, it was like, A, for me, it was figuring this whole thing out. And then B, it was like, now I got to work on telling people, like Adrian, who does the Joker. It's like, he does the Joker, he does the laugh, he has the face paint, he does all the gimmicks until he steps into the ring. And then he forgets he's the Joker, and he just starts wrestling as Adrian and wants to get all shit in. And I had to pull him aside and be like, listen, I'm not going to use you again unless you start fucking, you know, whatever. And then he got it, you know. But, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, we did the character. There was a point, though, where everybody evolved into their characters, and we were, like, clicking. Like, the place would be packed on a Saturday night. There'd be, you know, a couple thousand people there just going ape shit for character wrestling. It was pretty insane. Like, that was probably some of the most insane wrestling I've ever done. The most fun I've ever had wrestling, for sure. No doubt.
That time period, I think it was an evolution. Not only did we change it from random people doing random things to being characters and doing their gimmick. Like whoever you are, you have to be that character in the ring. But also, I think that we went from everyone that we asked to do it thinking it was retarded to everyone wanting to do it, and me having to tell more people no than yes. And we would still have 40 guys booked on the goddamn show.
Right. So not to mention people wanting to hang around. Like, you remember when you had Ricardo Rodriguez and you had Xavier Woods just hanging around because it was cool.
Well, I think that time period was also the time period in regular wrestling where a new group of guys got into were coming up in wrestling that were more into all this stuff. Like Xavier Woods is a huge Comic-Con guy.
Right.
So he was friends with Leva, and Leva was involved with us. And she's like, come along. Same thing. Ricardo was friends with Derek and friends with Leva and friends with all those guys, John Cruz and all them. So that was the craziest. Might have been the craziest Supercon when Ricardo came and when Xavier was there. At one point, I'm like out front because I used to run the music, and I wanted to be by the announcers and I wanted to be out front in case just to see what's going on. And Marco ran the back, and Xavier Woods sticks his face through the curtains, and he's like, Ben, how do I get involved with this? I said, you got to get fired from the WWE. He goes, never mind, and he closes the curtain.
Right, and think how many years ago. Think of what he's done in that time frame, being there, you know.
But also, if you look, he's in that culture still. He has the gaming channel, up, down, down, and there's a show they brought back on G4. They used to run it years ago. That the original show back in the day, Olivia Munn used to host, who became a superstar. Right. But But they brought the show back. It's called Attack of the Show. All it does is talk about geek culture, geek, computers and gaming and movies and all this stuff. And Xavier Woods, when he's not wrestling, is one of the co-hosts on it. They run like 4 nights a week. Like when he's done wrestling, he's just gonna go into that line of work, So
right.
So that's what I meant by the new generation coming up is totally into this shit. He goes to I saw him go to Dragon Con for several years, which is like the big show in Atlanta, like ours, and he would go and cosplay every day, dressed up as characters,
Yeah. I mean, that was probably the most fun, coolest part of wrestling that I've ever been a part. Because I love to do that shit. Like I love the coins. Like I would take a hit, like a bump, and the coins. I would how Mario loses the coins, and the best. I just remember I could do a move, and all I had to do is turn to the crowd and go, "It's me, Mario," and the whole place would go ape shit over it. They would all go ape shit.
Yeah.
Over, it's me, Mario, and the whole place would go ape shit.
That's where we invented the pizza table.
The pizza table spot where Jackie remember Jackie getting all the pizza boxes to make the table. We made a table, and we did the spot like the Dudley Boys, get the table, but the table was pizza boxes. And I put somebody through it.
Right. What happened was the venue was attached to a hotel, and like they did so it was all inclusive for the show, and so it was a 4-day convention. So we would literally just feed all the crew working for the show, all the convention people that ran the convention, all the volunteers, all the wrestlers, anyone that worked for the show. Mike would just buy pizza after pizza after pizza from the catering at the hotel venue. And so after 4 days, you were sick of pizza. But there were so many pizza boxes. We went through so much pizza that there's always pizza boxes around, and I don't know who got the idea to do it, but I remember Jackie went around collecting like 50 pizza boxes, empty pizza boxes.
He did, right? Insane. Like he was like a maniac about it that day.
Yeah, and then him and my brother, I think, maybe even Bobby Rogers, took on the art project of taping them together to make them to make them into like a table, like the kind of tables that wrestlers go through, that they slide out from under the ring and whatever. We're gonna do the same spot, but we were gonna do it with a table made of pizza boxes because Mario and Luigi are Italian, so why wouldn't it be pizza boxes, And so you could have
it was brilliant,
like a quote hardcore spot, but it's cardboard. Nobody's getting hurt, and the crowd goes ape shit for it, just ape shit.
Right.
I'll tell you the biggest you weren't there for it. You were already in South Carolina, I guess. But we did for the 4th of July. It was the last show I did. We were at the Miami.
The convention?
The big convention center, the Miami Airport Convention Center? Or no, the Miami Beach Convention Center. The big one where wrestling used to be held. And back in the day, like Florida wrestling. And we were doing a long storyline with like Al as Captain America. And like seriously, because that was back when Al was in like really great shape. And he's a pretty boy. So like literally the biggest pop one night was Al taking his shirt off. Like it didn't matter what.
Al's in great shape, right?
It didn't matter what anyone else did. Like no matter how cool of a move you did or whatever it was, there was one spot where Captain America took his shirt off, and women were like almost fainting in the crowd and stuff for this. So we were doing a long storyline with him, and the culmination was going to be that 4th of July weekend. We were going to have the Red Skull, you don't know who he is, but he's Captain America's biggest villain, and Hitler involved. And we had this little guy that was working for the show running the film festival, which was another part of the building. And we made sure he was available. I ordered a fully accurate Hitler costume. And it was like,
wow.
And it was small because he was a little guy like Hitler. And like, And like, I'm like, I need you to grow all your facial hair out the day of the show. Backstage, we're going to just quickly zip you into a Hitler mustache, which you could zip off right away afterwards. But like for that time, he came to the ring as Hitler. And like for comic book fans, which is what this is about, the big pop was that Captain America punches out Hitler, which for people that are fans of comic books and fans of Comic Cons and stuff, they might know that the original Captain America comics, the first time Captain America was ever in a comic book, was Captain America Comics #1, and the cover of it is Captain America punching out Hitler. So we were trying to recreate that thing. And it went really well, except for the fact that when they came to the ring, we were trying to make light of it. So we were playing Springtime for Hitler, which is a Mel Brooks song from The Producers.
Right.
It's a goofy song, and it's it's over the top ridiculous, except that like people like somewhere in the audience, there was like a group of like 4 or 5 people that were giving the salute, the Sieg Heil salute.
Oh my God.
And I turned to, I don't remember who was sitting next to me. I turned to someone and I was like, that is the best and worst thing that could have happened for the show. Like it's working, but at the same time, we now have people
probably shouldn't do this,
throwing up the fucking arms to Hitler.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was post you. I never used another Mario once you were gone, by the way. Just
well, I know
I was loyal.
I know Dash tried to, do his Mario thing, right? At one point, but that was after you.
Yeah, that was after I was gone.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, just being honest, the best was when Dash was Wario and I was Mario, and we did that match we did together. It was literally Mario versus Wario. Like it was like I think we made it a tag or something. Luigi was involved, and
well, we had,
and then
at one time we had Wario, Waluigi,
right.
and Mario. We had all 4, and we had a Princess Peach. I mean, it was like we had a full stable of Mario characters.
Right. And we did that match with Dash as Wario and who was his name? Waluigi was Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando,
the referee, and we did. That was fun. That was fun stuff. But I saw Dash was Mario. I think we need to do a Mario versus Mario now. Like it's like Razor, the fake Razor versus the real Razor. we got to do Mario versus Mario now.
I'll give Dash credit for something really clever. When he was, I think when you were still here and I was still here, he was doing Bane for a little while from the Batman movies, and and he might have also done it as Wreck-It Ralph. But I don't remember if I used him.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember if I used him as Wreck-It Ralph or not. I think he was just Bane with me, and or again Wario. But when he was doing Bane, he got Broder to give him a table in the convention, and when we weren't wrestling, he would hold times where he would be at the table, and I think for like $3 or $5 you could arm wrestle Bane. And he made like a whole extra side hustle that, just
that's absolutely brilliant.
Just arm wrestling people, but you had to pay. You had to pay to arm wrestle them.
That's absolutely brilliant.
And then I'm sure he was selling like gimmicks too, like whether it was photos or art brilliant. Or whatever. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, those are fun times. Fun. That was probably the most fun I've had in wrestling.
Well, you know what else?
Were those times.
You know what else made it really fun? Not only like the matches and the shows we put on, but it was the fact that for 4 days and like maybe 3 nights, if people weren't going home, which most people didn't, most people stayed in the hotels and stuff. Right. We were hanging out for like, 15 hours a day. So there was just like that whole party atmosphere and going and drinking and hanging out, and then we also wrestled and we, fucked with people.
Walked around the convention. Got to meet Power Rangers.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, because we were working for the show. There was like, you could go back into the green room where the celebrity guests were and meet them, and that's where we recruited people. Like Wayne went and recruited, because he was a huge Power Rangers guy. He went and recruited like two, like the lady that plays Rita Repulsa, I think.
And Rita Repulsa.
And the guy that voices Zed or so, whatever the character's name is.
Yeah. And they were like 90 years old.
And weren't they involved with like you guys versus the Power Rangers? Yeah,
they like managed the heel team. Yeah. And the Power Rangers like managed the baby team, which was us. And then they were like our managers and they cut a promo in the ring. You remember that?
I vaguely remember
Rita Repulsa did, yeah.
She was doing like the voice and yeah.
Right. And he did his line.
With the laugh, yeah. He was a little frail, if I remember, but...
He was very old and frail. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not a comic book guy, but Power Rangers, like, everybody watched Power Rangers. So, like, to me, that was, like, one of the coolest moments. We were managed by the Power Rangers against Rita Repulsa, and he was.
Were you managed by them, or weren't you wrestling the Power Rangers? I think you were wrestling against the Power Rangers.
Oh, we were wrestling the Power Rangers, or something. I don't remember what it was, but they were out there, and it was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the same. That was the first time that I think Hurricane wrestled for us too. I think he was on those cards. He was one of those like, when am I wrestling? And I'm like, you're the main event. And he's like, when do we start? And I'm like, 9:00. He's like, no, move me up. I'm not wrestling at 11:00 at night or 12:00 at night. I was like, no problem. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, those are fun times. Fun times for sure. But I wish we could get that footage. If we can get that footage, that'd be cool. Just some of it, you know.
I want
cool shit.
I want the footage to do the rise and fall of Supercon or Supercon wrestling.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that was good times. Good times. That's all I got. I got nothing else today.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
All right. Well, yeah. Oh, you just threw that out there like that. Like you just sank the boat for me. Like I don't even know if I had anything else to talk about. It all went out the window.
I don't know.
When
I'm spent. I'm done. I don't even want to talk anymore.
Spent. I remember you and
blown up.
I remember you and Sue hugging back in the locker room area after that match. I think I have a photo of it somewhere. And now she's got a baby, and it's not yours magically. Not yours for once. So
yeah.
I remember talking to her when we were putting one of the shows together, and we decided we were going to do a bunch of Power Rangers. And I'm like, you know, we could order the costumes. They were super cheap. They were like $50 a piece or something. You know, because they're just spandex outfits. You're not like, I'm not buying like helmets or anything like that. And I was talking with Sue, and I'm like, I was like trying to be diplomatic. I didn't want to be the stereotype guy, even though that's the way it was on the show. But I'm like asking her, well, what Power Ranger would you want to be? And she's like, I have to be the yellow one. I'm Asian. And I'm like, hey, you said it, not me. It's all good from here.
I do remember that, yeah.
But do you remember the pink Power Ranger?
Oh, I remember.
Let's tell that.
She didn't shower for 4 days, but yeah.
Did she? The full 4 days she didn't shower. You're sure? I remember.
She didn't get out. No, hold up. She didn't even get out of the costume for like 2 days.
This is true too. She showed up. I think she was pretty new to like a lot of this, and she wasn't like big on asking questions.
Right, very quiet.
So like I didn't realize like that she didn't get a hotel room until like the second day or something. So like I think like was it the first day she broke her nose wrestling? Yeah. She broke her nose like the first day, and I'm talking to her the second day, and her nose is all swollen, but she's happy, and she wore the costume like from the time I gave it to her on Friday or Thursday. Until like all through Friday, she's wearing the costume. I'm like thinking she's wearing it like all day and whatever, but
like never took it off. We went to the gas station together. She was still wearing it,
smiling and having fun.
Right.
I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I broke my nose." You know, and I'm like, "Did you want to see a doctor, or do you need to go to the emergency room, or do you want to see like we had someone on staff like a paramedic type person." And she's like, no, I'm fine. It's fine. It was a little tough when I was sleeping in my car last night. I go, but wait, what? You slept in your car last night? I got rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll bunk you with someone or just, it was like she wasn't like, it was weird. Like she didn't ask about like rooms.
No, right.
She didn't ask anything. And I just assumed she bought it was kind of like the girls would stay together. Right. So I gave a couple girls rooms. I'm like, yeah, just fill your rooms up with people, and if anyone came and asked, I was like, oh, I gave so-and-so and so-and-so a key. So stay with one of them. But she never asked. So I thought like she had figured it out. And maybe that's a little on me, but I don't know. Like, do I have to babysit adults, So, yeah, like the second day she's like, yeah, I haven't I haven't stayed anywhere. I was in my car. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I think the third night, she like passed out. We were all just chilling out in my room. She's like passed out on the bed. I think like Derek was trying to get Beast laid, and he was just like trying to get Beast to make a move on her or something. And I'm just sitting there laughing at the whole thing. But yeah, I think that night she did shower in our room. She took a shower. But I think, if I remember correctly, she went straight from the shower back into the Power Rangers costume.
She never took it off, I don't think.
I think all 4 days she wore the Power Ranger outfit. She did clean her body at least once or twice in that time period, but she went and put the costume back on that she wrestled in 4 times and walked around all day and all night in. I can't imagine what the bottoms of those feet look like, because I don't think she exactly wore shoes over it most of the time.
No, I'm not even kidding you. We walked to the gas station together. She was in the costume. I was in regular clothes because I didn't dress as Mario all day. Right. And I'm pretty sure she didn't have shoes on because the gas station was next door. It was like around the corner.
Yeah.
And she didn't wear shoes to the gas station. I'm almost certain she didn't have shoes on.
Yeah, no, because I'm like, it's forming in my head like that I think at the end of the... No, you know what it was? I know exactly what it was. I think anyone that we had bought a costume for, that hadn't made their own or whatever, anyone, I just was kind of like, I just touched base with them. I'm like, hey, if you can, just send me the costume back at some point so I can get it washed and ready for the next time, and et cetera, et cetera. She sent the costume in like a priority mail envelope. And I remember like throwing it in the washing machine, and the bottoms of the feet were like jet black. They were like jet black from like, walking everywhere, with these like spandex footy, kind of deals. Yep. I really liked her. I think she was fun. She understood the assignment. She did a good job. She could work men. She had that kind of style.
Right. No,
her shit looked good. She would work the gimmick. Yeah. She would play the character. But it was that, and then after that, when she would, did we use her again? I think we did use her again.
I don't know.
No, maybe we didn't. I think what happened was Jude ended up inheriting that costume. I don't remember. We were doing some bizarre thing where he was stalking Alexa as the creepy character, the Clockwork Orange guy, and at one point, she's wrestling this Pink Ranger, and you're like, and it's built like Jude, kind of chubby dude, and he knocks her out, and he reveals himself, and then like he does like the most we did the most rapey things with him. I think he threw her over his shoulder, and instead of like running through the crowd into like whatever, he ran out one of those emergency exit doors with her, and we're like,
I was gone by that point.
Yeah, we're like, and that was like that was like a to be continued kind of plot point where she came back like in his stable, but like what, he just ran off with this chick over his shoulder.
Right.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. I got nothing else. I'm done.
You keep saying that. You just want to go. I gotta
go to the bathroom.
You could have taken us in with you.
49 minutes in. I gotta go.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I guess I'm done with you too. I'm gonna go get some Wingstop because they're doing free delivery like this week.
Joy, I'm going to get sushi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye. I'm going in the bathroom. I'm done with you. I'm hanging up now. Goodbye.